Ooh, yeah. A word on accountants and lawyers. So I'm just thinking about this before I try to go to sleep here pretty soon. No matter what political system is going to exist in the future, accountants and lawyers are always going to be involved. Finance people, they can kind of sneak their way in where they need to, but that's a whole other issue. Depends on anyway. But to me, is that accountants and lawyers are always going to be needed, because at the end of the day, I can't really speak for the minutia of what happened in the Russian Revolution. But as far as I know, is that there couldn't have been that much that changed in terms of accounts. I mean, it's a whole different world now. It's much more advanced and everything is much more complicated. But, for example, me being in business school as I have, and as mediocre a student as I am, admittedly, you're still going to need those two groups of people. Lawyers are going to be needed, even if not for trial cases, which very few are actually, very few lawyers actually are in trial cases, and even fewer are experts on very specific specialties. But they will be needed for contracts. They will be needed for getting laws together and everything else like that. You have to think about it, even with someone like, we think back to the National Socialists. And we think of Roland Freisler. And for those who don't know Roland Freisler, type out his name. Type out Roland Freisler and then July 1944 bomb plot, and you will find a clip of him screaming and berating a German general who's holding his pants because they said, we're not even going to let him have suspenders or a belt, and he pronounces to berate him because he doesn't have one. Now the thing is that he was a just a little background to him, just in case. But he was caught. I mean, he was caught by the Russian army, the Imperial Russian Army, and he was in a prison camp. In that time, he became a Marxist, and basically, became a good Bolshevik. Once he came back, once he was freed after the revolution and everything, he came back and started to help the National Socialists and change the laws and kind of got the Nuremberg laws set up and everything else. So he became heavy up on the People's Court. Allegedly, he died in an air attack on Berlin in 1945. Basically, a piece of the roof killed, just crushed him to death. But it's just an example that these things aren't going to go away, and that accountants and lawyers are never going to fully go away. You will always need those folks. Accountants, to me, if nothing else, I can't imagine that you're going to change everything in terms of, how the law is going to work and how accounting is going to work. What we use here in the United States is generally accepted accounting principles. Sorry, I'm just slurring my words here a little bit. No, but seriously, so those things will always be needed. I'm just repeating myself. I'm sorry. I've been repeating myself a lot. I'm going real boomer, y'all. Sorry, but generally accepted accounting principles, and I forget, it's IFRS, basically IFRS, International something. What does IFRS stand for? What the heck? Let me type it in here. Accounting. Okay. IFRS. Yeah. International Financial Reporting Standards. There you go. So you can get real, obviously CPAs and other folks would know better about the big differences, but to me, you're still going to have to work with these things. You're still going to have to work within that. So it doesn't matter if you're going to be, Mr. LARPing Marxist Leninist, or you're going to be a market socialist like people like Vosh. You're going to have to play in the rules, man. And the thing is that the United States and even individual states have some very sophisticated laws, and sophisticated, tax law and just regular law. And there are different ways that they prosecute and everything else. And it's always interesting the way laws work. I noticed this as well. I think, once again, you really got to dig through these things. But I believe that there are some basically being mean to animals type of rules, and kind of like preservation of trees. I think that National Socialists, that the Nazis had, and those laws are still on the books today. So it kind of puts things into perspective, So I would suggest I would say make friends with accountants, make friends with lawyers, and have them explain it to you in a simple way. Try to get these books and try to read them. It's like, for me, I'm going to be taking my last legal ethics test on contracts primarily. I think I got to write some paragraph and kind of get it, or a page of something, and kind of get everything right. And anyway, but it's a lot to go through. It's a lot to process. But anyway, I suggest to y'all, while you're getting involved with politics and taking in what I can from reading State and Revolution, Lenin was also a lawyer. So you have to remember, one of the things you have to understand that the language that he used, and I'm going to come up to that chapter, I think, pretty soon, or at least get up to the words. He repeats it a few times. But he says there's two parts of the state. He says there's the state in general, or the bourgeoisie state, and then there's the state in general. The bourgeoisie state, basically, how I would interpret that, is basically everything that you see. So McDonald's, the stock market, or at least on Wall Street, and, big businesses, everything that you can see, the bourgeoisie state, the elections that we have, and everything else. The state in general, at least in my view. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, GSP. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Bronx blogger, it's just, this fool crawls out from being doxxed because anyway, it's ridiculous. I've repeated myself enough, but yeah, I appreciate that, GSP. But I was just gonna finish up about lawyers. I was just gonna make a short video, but basically, what I was saying is that he was talking about the state, the bourgeoisie state, and then the state in general. The state in general, to me, comes from ideas and traditions, and so this is kind of what Lenin talks about a little bit, and you can interpret it however way you want to. But when Lenin's, is that I want to get to chapter 5, which is really, when I was reading it, I remember reading it on Marxist.org. It's a lot of nitty gritty stuff in there, where he talks, of course, about we're going to destroy the police and military, and we're going to smash them into atoms. And then you read a couple paragraphs down, he says, but we do need a secret police force. We do need what will eventually become the Cheka and everything else. So it's interesting to point out, is that, like I say, it's interesting to read about politics and kind of get an idea of where different positions come from. And, I can take some of these points to heart. I'm probably not going to join you, because I think that I generally think that political groups today are just cringe. I'm sorry. I'm going to join the regular folks. I'm sorry. I'm going to join the lumpen proletariat, or the whoever, I'm not going to join any ML group. I'm not going to join any, politically conscious group. But, like I say, the ideas and traditions are the state in general. Is it ideas like Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's Eve Day or the 4th of July in this country, or whatever. That, to me, is the state in general. Those ideas aren't going to go away. That's my view anyway. Those ideas aren't going to go away anytime soon, and people are going to continue on. The thing is that we've had, dare I say, maybe I'll get to Bernays. I got the 3-pack of Bernays books. A 3-pack of Bernays. Sound like a drunk, but maybe eventually here over this summer we'll get into Bernays a bit and kind of talk over that, because I know these days are going to get hot, man. I tell you, it's already kind of getting warm. It's not as bad as it could be, but I've lived down here long enough. I know those 100-degree weather days, they're coming. It's one of those, if you're not up by 5 a.m., you're just going to you're going to wake up just sweating, but Lord have mercy. I know. I think that's about it that I wanted to say. It's just, to me, I would just say get you like a basic law book, maybe get you whatever type of book, and just kind of study law. Even, take this with a grain of salt, but I remember reading the biography of Huey Newton, Black Panthers. In general, a lot of leftists don't like Huey Newton because of what happened to him later on, and how, he was considered, I guess you could consider him reactionary later on. But of course, this is one of the complicated things, is that this is one of the differences, is the Big Nats, they'll just be like, meh, whatever. They it's like, yeah, they were full of shit, but so what? It's like, yeah, Hortler was bad, but whatever. Hortler's still good. He tried to free the whites. Whereas with the leftists, particularly when you talk about Lenin or you talk about, Mao, it's like, well, they have to put in so much work to be like, okay, Maoism is different from Mao Zedong thought. They have to put a lot of work into it. Oh, yeah, well, third world theory isn't this, but it's actually this. And they have to put so much work into trying to separate these things and trying to, instead you get these real big brain folks who just think that they know better. And it's like, it's hilarious to see the political masturbation of it all. So I hope there's a line not to be crossed. I think that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, any strong adherence. Yeah, exactly. Very naive and cringe. I agree. Like I say, study law. I would say a little bit. Get you a basic law book, as Huey Newton did. He used to carry it in the passenger seat of his car. So when they pulled him over, he would just pull it out and just start reading it, and the cops would just be dumbfounded, be like, baby, And of course, eventually, things change with Huey Newton. But it's good to put in context. Same thing with accounting, like I say. Learn your percentages. It's more than just debits and credits. It gets more complicated, and you got to figure out how those things work. And how they come up with those things. Yeah, man is dead. Yeah. Are we referring to Nietzsche, kind of? Well, anyway, I'm not a big brain dude. I just read books, and, for y'all, and then I just kind of spurred my way through them. But that's how I feel about it anyway. It's just, I don't know, but I think accounting and being a lawyer, to me, that will always exist to some degree. Oh, man is okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Good deal. Okay. That's what I thought. I was making sure. Like I say, I'm not a huge big brain guy. The only thing that I've gotten from Nietzsche is just seeing guys like Guile on Twitter. I've seen guys like Guile on Twitter talk about him and other folks, and it's just like, okay, that's where I get my understanding of Nietzsche. And I feel like that's good enough. So nothing against Nietzsche. Maybe he has good writings, but a lot of people turn cringe when they start to read Nietzsche. So I don't really, it's like I'll read Lenin or I'll read Ernst Röhm. And it's like, even then, Ernst Röhm is very, that book was very thick, a lot of detail, and you can dig through, kind of figure out about Poner, and you can figure out about, von Epp, who was a general in the First World War, and later led the group, I think, led an organization basically on colonization in the Nazi Party, I think, or something like that. So then he turned on the National Socialists, I think, and joined. I want to say he joined the July 20th bomb plot, or at least was friends with some of those folks. So very interesting. But that's one of the interesting things too. I'm going to go off on a side note here, but I talked a little bit about Roland Freisler when I started, and it is fascinating, of course, how they were able to change everything and make it work. And some laws, like I say, based on West Germany, National Socialist laws still exist. There are some that still exist, particularly, like I say, about animal cruelty, I think. I don't know, take it for what it is. I think that's about all I wanted to say, really. If there's anything else y'all want to type out, go ahead. Like I say, we saw a Bronx blogger. Apparently he's going to come back. I may do some response videos to that. Maybe. I'm not going to do, I'll tell you all this because I feel like, whatever. This is kind of at the tail end of it. But I saw Faraday Speaks. I did a video about him, as y'all saw. I was pretty light on him. I think I didn't really say he was this and that. I think I just implied it. I just lightly tapped it. I kissed the apex in terms of actually going there. And this dude responds to me. He's like, LMAO, you got things wrong, or something like that, And next thing you know is he sends me an email, and he's like, well, come on my Discord. I said, bro, I'm not going on your Discord. You can call me a coward, you can call me pussy, whatever, but it's like, my man, I'm not going on your Discord. I'm not going to be a dancing monkey for you so you can throw peanuts at me or have your audience throw peanuts at me later on. He's talking with this guy, Pixel Hipster. This, I'm trying to think of the word, but basically, I think he's a Hapa or Eurasian, I guess you could say. But yeah, Hapa Eurasian from Australia. And he did a video where he's talking with some alleged wignat on Discord. And I'm just like, bro. I'm just like, no, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch that. And you don't need to hear me cringing out. Because the thing is, like, it's like, I remember I called up one time to that Xander Hall guy, the pig puncher dude. The one that was, Vosh is good friends with. And it's like, I called him up because he was going after somebody. I forget who it was. And then I watched the stream, and my, maybe 25 or 30 minutes, that shit was cut. I was like, oh, really? They cut my shit. And it's like, for me, I was being fairly reasonable. I wasn't just saying the N-word and trying to be funny or be edgy. I was actually trying to respond to him. But it's like, no, man. I went on Discord only for the memes. And now I got rid of the passwords and reset my passwords on Google. So I was just like, I forgot what it was. I didn't give a shit what my old Discord was. And now I'm just like, I don't even care, bro. I think, Discord, Telegram, I mean, all those places they're so cringe. Gab, it's all just baiting. It really is. It's just Fed posting at this point, especially Telegram, because of course even the base supposedly got their Telegram hijacked. It's just so cringe, man. And I saw a post from Twist. I'll just say this: another Aussie, but he's all right. He's pretty cool. Where he was just talking about, the alt-right, is basically now just folks who are LARPing and talking about French writers, basically, And there's some truth to that. I do have some. I think it's America by, or I have Debord, and then I have another book. But anyway, it's so ridiculous, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know. Like I say, I'll probably put out a little bit less content. I'll probably try to get through State and Revolution I got to film a video through StreamYard through another thing. I'll keep that to myself. But other than that, I'll just let y'all know. So what? I mean, the feds hear me. It's not saying anything crazy, but yeah, I'll just let y'all know. I think that's about it, though. I appreciate GSP for making comments, and at least at least somebody acknowledges seeing Bronx Blogger come back. Come on, man. What are we? Are we back in 2016 now? Are we gonna? He took so many L's, and then he gets doxxed because he went on, freaking Ethan. He went on the kill stream too much. And it's like, oh my gosh, I got, he's so surprised, like, oh, well, I got doxxed and everything. I don't know why that happened. I feel afraid because they did that. Oh, they found me on Kiwi Farms. Well, that's kind of your L, bro, because it's like, if you've listened to the kill stream for any length of time, they had, what's his name from Kiwi Farms? I can't think of his damn name, the Asian dude. But it's like they had him on all the fucking time, dude. I don't even, it's like I think they had beef and drama, but they always do. And it's like, are you that dumb where you I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. This went off the rails. This was supposed to be about an accountant, some lawyers, and now suddenly anyway, I'll finish it up with the point is that, study some accounting or at least get, make friends with an accountant and a lawyer. That way you can at least understand the basics of what's going on, past just credits and debits for, accounting and, for, I don't know. And for lawyers, go past just bilateral and unilateral contracts for lawyers. And, it doesn't matter what you do, that'll set you off in a better way. So I'll keep it there. Y'all have a good night. I hope y'all enjoyed this content, and we got some more coming up, so stick around.